This isn't self-improvement, it's self-deception. You didn't want control. You wanted the illusion of control without the cost.
I tell myself
You cut the noise. You paused the feed. You lit a candle and called it discipline. But the dopamine never left. It just waited. And now it owns you, quietly, completely.
I need
You thought you were cleansing.
to like it.
You were just holding your breath,
Time.
waiting for the crash.
I just want
Let's
to
begin.
be seen.
No phone, no sugar, no sex, no comfort. It felt like control. It was starvation with better branding. You
I
stripped the
smile,
symptoms,
but
not the
only
source.
if they see it.
The urge didn't die. It just waited for you to get weak. And you did. Because that was never discipline. It was denial, wrapped
It's
in ritual.
not cheating.
You're not escaping your habits.
If I need it.
You're escaping the guilt of not controlling them. You run forward,
I like how
but the
this
loop is
one
still tied to your
feels.
spine. You track, you detox, you punish, you restart, and then you call it progress. But the loop doesn't care what you call it.
I deserve
It only
to
cares that you
feel
obey it.
good.
Dopamine doesn't care about your
Just
intentions.
a little longer.
It doesn't wait for morality. It waits for pattern. It doesn't reward truth. It rewards repetition.
One more hit.
It doesn't spike because you're
Then
right.
I'll stop.
It spikes because you're predictable.
I promise.
This was never about healing. This was about reinforcement. You weren't escaping. You were rehearsing. You didn't stop the addiction. You rebranded it. You called it habit stacking. You called it mindfulness. You called it optimization.
It's not me.
But the loop remained
It's
untouched.
the loop.
Same craving, same ritual, same reward. All you changed was the packaging. And that's what made it harder to notice. Every single
Again.
time
Again.
you restart,
Again.
you restrict, you promise yourself it's different. And then it snaps. The pattern breaks you. You don't fix it. You just reset it. This is not a relapse. It's a ritual. Dopamine is not your enemy. It doesn't punish you. It propels you. It doesn't care what you chase.
I don't
Only that you
want
never
to
stop chasing.
Why
Scroll.
would I?
Crave. Reach. Repeat. You blamed the
I
molecule,
deserve to feel
but it was just
good.
doing its job.
Just a
The
little
real
longer.
problem was what you trained it to crave. You didn't find clarity. You found monk porn dressed as discipline. You weren't simplifying. You were starving for control. And the tech bros sold it to you wrapped in guilt. Cold showers, phone bans, journals, breathwork. None of that rewired you. It just distracted you from the fact that nothing had changed. The lie wasn't that you were healing. The lie was that you ever needed to. You paused. Then you binged. You thought it was a reset. It was just restraint, waiting to snap. One notification, one craving, one "I've been good long enough." You didn't return to the habit. You collapsed into it, like it never left. This wasn't failure. It was design. You didn't heal. You held your breath. You didn't face the impulse. You buried it under willpower and silence. You thought stillness was control, but pressure doesn't disappear. It waits, it grows, then it leaks. You didn't get stronger, you just went quiet until it hit you harder. You didn't reset your brain, you rewired it. Every repetition became instruction. Every craving became code. This isn't therapy. This is feedback remapping. Trigger. Reward. Trigger. Reward. You weren't resisting the loop. You were deepening it. This was always a system. You just didn't realize you were training it. You conscript it. You don't avoid the urge. You train it to obey new triggers. This isn't abstinence. It's neural warfare. You don't run from the loop. You rewire it. You rename it. You reverse it. Discipline isn't clean. It's mechanical, cold, commanded. Dopamine doesn't vanish. It kneels if you build the system right. When nothing breaks you, you forget being broken. You stop offering grace. You start demanding proof. You don't relate. You calculate. The stronger you get, the easier it becomes to dismiss the pain that built you. And the silence that follows, it doesn't echo, it devours. And then you kill the witness. The part of you that remembers who you were before the rewiring. The guilt fades, then the empathy, then the memory. You stare into the mirror, but it doesn't stare back. You didn't just become strong, you became invisible to yourself. You weaponize it. You don't suppress the urge. You reshape it until it cuts for you. The craving becomes the blade. The repetition becomes recoil. You stop begging for silence. You start carving through noise. This isn't discipline. It's weaponized instinct. You started choosing. The loops still exist. They just don't reach you anymore. The triggers fire. The rewards flicker. But you stay still. The cravings knock. You don't answer. You don't react. You don't need to. You don't play the game anymore. You own it.